it's quite a family show, isn't it? Yeah. How are you, the lovely Alice Spittle?
Good, thank you.
Have you been busy, busy, busy?
Yes, getting busy, just working on this exhibition, so the Legacy series.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
How do you name a series?
Well, it really just depends. Like, it depends on what's going on at the time, and I'd kind of been talking with my stepfather about generations and whakapapa and leaving legacies, and so so that's how this whole series sort of came about. Yeah.
So how many is in the series? How many pieces
I
about?
think I'm about 16.
16?
Yeah. And maybe a few more. Or maybe if I ruin a few, they might not go through.
Do you ever have ones that you sort of get to, and you get to the point, I mean, looking at the ones behind us, they're absolutely spectacular, but did it always start out, that was your vision of what it was going to be, or is that quite subjective?
That was the first one that I actually did in the series, and I'd planned, because it's about, I mean, the whole series, Legacy series, is about generations and whakapapa. It's about the links and ties that we have from the past to the future generations. And so every painting's got kind of a story that can relate to a different part of that journey or whatever. So this one's called Tatai Hono, which is the threads that bind us.
Gorgeous.
So there was the idea when I first started this that for every one person there's two parents, and for their two parents there's two parents. So there's sets of three that link through that whole painting. But as I was painting it, this one actually I created new faces, and so it was kind of a bigger picture. So it's that whole family generation. You don't just have that, you've got your sisters and your brothers and your cousins, and so then that just expanded to what it is, where I've got ones that I've kept really strict and, made sure that I haven't added any more. I've just stuck with the,
Is it hard to do, though? Is it hard to get to a point, like, I am no artist, but I really like grabbing hold of a canvas and just sort of, seeing where my brush takes me. But I never feel like it's complete. I always look at it and go, oh, yeah, I quite like that. Oh, but it needs a little bit more of...
Well, you can always do stuff. And I mean, I look at stuff and I think at the time, yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with that. But look back at it a year later and I go, what was I thinking?
So critical of yourself.
So I think, there's always room for improvement, and you can probably, pick everything to pieces, but then, sometimes the rawness of your canvas, or how you've, done something, and that naivety in the earlier stages of painting is actually quite good, because once you start getting overworking, that's when I ruin, is when I keep going and think, I'll just do that, and I'll just do that. And and then I think, man, I shouldn't have just done that. I should have just left it. No.
Were they always going to be faceless?
Yeah, because it's I did that because I don't want it to be about necessarily the people or the faces. I want it to be about the story, because through the series it's a bit of a challenge about leaving a legacy. What do you choose to leave? Are you passing on knowledge from generation to generation, or are we just passing down our old set of golf clubs and our whatevers, so it through this whole series, I'm trying to just get people to start thinking about going back to the basics and teaching our children how to do simple things that we're not teaching them, or knowledge that you might not think of passing on and holding on to. So
because it has changed, and we don't leave those legacies behind that we did.
Not
the fathers aren't teaching the fishing, and the mothers don't have them and teaching them how to bake a good basic thing of scones or a bit of sewing.
Yeah.
And within this piece, I mean, it would have changed the whole context. Had you put faces on then we get age, we get sex, we get creed, we get all of that.
Yeah,
but at the moment, it appeals to absolutely anybody at any stage of their life.
Yeah, and it keeps it simple. It keeps the idea of what it's about itself. And another one that I've done they've got elongated shoulders, so that's about burdens and about kind of how generation to generation these things get passed down, and people use them as an excuse. They say, oh well, this happened to me, so this is the way I am. But this is so this is that again, that challenge of not allowing that to be an excuse, but a reason to change that next generation. So
it's incredible. Now the size, I mean, it's a big canvas, it's a big piece.
Yes.
Was it always going to be like that? Like, do you have the size of your work sort of in your head before you go and put it on canvas?
Yeah, I did want to do a few bigger pieces. I went out and bought about 30 canvases at once and kind of thought, right, I'll use these ones for this series, and then kind of just started working away at them.
Crazy. And do you, this may sound like a really stupid question, but do you stand there and look out to the wide blue yonder and have like an easel and sort of, you know,
And
get your
get
energy
inspired.
from the sun and,
Well,
and have your little thing that you stick, you know those wee things that you stick your thumbs through? Do you have one of those? The wee
Oh
things
yeah,
that you
no, I
hold?
don't.
Oh,
I just use a
wanted you to have
tile
one of
or
those.
glass plates.
I saw someone using a glass plate the other day.
It's
Ah,
good.
Okay.
But you know, I don't really draw. I'm not a drawer, and
So you go straight onto canvas with paint?
I go straight onto canvas.
Wow.
Yeah, but I paint on my sketch with just a real light wash. So and then I stand back and I look at it, and then I start working on it. So,
Amazing.
yeah. But I'm a self-taught painter.
Are you?
Yeah, I
Did you
actually
take art at school?
failed for form arts.
For all you people out there, the mothers are going, no, don't say that, don't say that.
Yeah, I failed. I couldn't draw, so I failed. But yeah, and then I went and studied at Te Whanangoroko. I did Māori design and art in
Which
Wellington.
is where? In Wellington, okay.
Yeah, so that gave me a really good foundation and didn't teach me painting, but taught me just all the background of why and what I was doing, so that I could kind of stand up and go, yes, I'm doing this for this reason. So a really great foundation to start with, I found, yeah.
Because all your pieces have a very strong Māori influence, don't they?
Yes, yeah. Well, this one here behind us is called Passing Through, and it's about, I'll actually read it to you. It says, passing through, breezing over, flying past, unaware, too aware, where are you? This, yeah.
Very deep, Alice.
Yeah, I know. I was having a really deep day.
Gracious
So
me.
it says, so this painting is a representation of passing through challenges and allowing our true self to be the testimony of our own success. Growing stronger and letting your self-belief build you up and not allowing self-doubt to destroy you. So I've got them sort of moving and, you know, and expanding in that the growth through the koru. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I mean, art is, I don't know if I've told you, but I got in real trouble once. I had an artist on, and I didn't have them on. I had an art gallery that bought on an artist's work, and I looked at it, and it had these sort of bars down the middle of it. I said, you know, it looks to me like someone is looking in, like is in jail and looking to the outside of what it could be. And they were deeply, deeply offended by what I said.
Oh, really?
I got this 2-page email about how this, and this, and when she sat down to do this piece of art, you know, jail didn't even enter her mind, and criminals, and I was like, oh my goodness me. Because to me, art is what you take out of it.
Exactly, and that's the thing, you know, even though I've got reasons and stories behind what I've done,
someone else will look at that. Yeah.
And people do, and people take away something that I do, and they go, it meant that for the artist, but for me it means this, and that's great, and I hope everybody does that, because that's what ties you and connects you to that piece, and that's the whole point of what art's about. It's supposed to inspire you, or, you know, so...
And I mean, you can't take offence if someone looks at it and goes, no, it's not for me.
No,
I mean, they
and
might like landscapes and like seeing sheep on hills.
Yeah,
and, you know,
exactly, and I did one that had this, you know, not a tombstone, but for me it wasn't. It was a tunnel, so it was, and it's got, you know, the figures in the background with all wearing cloaks, different coloured cloaks, and it's quite dark, and then inside it's got just the three, and it's about just your family being your core family knit, you know, and they are the, you know, everything. Although you've got all these other people around you, at the end of the day, you know, your family is the most important part.
Yeah.
But my friend looked at it and went, it looks like a tombstone, and it's all about death. And I was like, oh, well, it's not.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, it was amazing.
But then that's how she interpreted it, and that's sweet. I'm happy for people to, and it adds depth to it too, because it always interests me what other people see in my work as well. So
Well, I was certainly not meaning any offence by it. It's just what I saw. Right, we need to take a look at this one down. Oh, I like this one too.
Yeah, this one is conservative.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more conservative.
For you, for your style.
Yeah, but I really love the colours. I love painting in those colours, and it's a sort of piece that will, you know, just looks so beautiful on a wall. And in my house is quite little, and honestly, all these paintings are about this far away from each other in my lounge, and so I can't give them justice. But I'm sure it's going to look really good when it gets up into this exhibition.
And do you get excited when people purchase your pieces and they obviously just fall in love with them because they are so divine, and they say, oh look, I've got the most perfect place for it in the entranceway, or blah blah blah. Do you ever get the opportunity to see them hung in people's homes?
Yeah, sometimes I do, and I love that when people buy through the website, then I get to meet them and I get to talk to them afterwards, and you know, by buying them through the galleries, I don't get to meet these people, so I don't always get to explain what's behind the work as
Yeah.
well. So
And I think
yeah,
you're-
no,
you're-
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that because it's so inspiring.
And you're such a passionate, inspiring person, and it really does come out in your artwork. And I think you can, you really benefit from just talking to Alice. Now we need to talk about how people can look
Yes.
and purchase your work, because you do have a website.
Yes, it's www.inspirationalarts with an S. Yeah. .co.nz. But if you go to Google and you look up Alice Spittle, which is me,
There can't be too many of Alice Spittles in the
no,
world.
then I'll come up. So I'm probably not too hard to find.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people that want you to commission a piece, if people have seen you and think, yes, this woman's got the culture and the...
Yes, I kind of
Look
do.
at, did you see those hands? She's like, I don't like you telling me what you want done, but...
Yeah, what I can do is I can do something based on a style or colours or whatever, and get me inspired by something,
Okay.
and tell me a story about what you want it to represent. I'll go away and I'll paint something, and if you don't like it, that's sweet. If you do, then that's cool and you can buy it. But I don't like, there's a lot of pressure then, because people don't, and sometimes I change it halfway through. And so they just
Don't
just
put pressure
depends.
on the artist. That's not what we're after. But what you do need to do, I thank you so much for bringing
That's
your beautiful
fine.
pieces of artwork, and good luck with the Legacy series. I'm
Thanks.
sure it's going to grow to 25 by the time it gets to that exhibition. Now, here are the details for you. If you want to find out more about Alice's beautiful work, all you need to do is log on to her website. Now, it is, let me give it to you, get your pen and paper ready, it's Inspirational Arts. Make sure that you do put that S on the end. But as Alice said, you just pop her into Google. Oh, don't we love Google? If you put Alice Spittle in there, it'll send you directly through to her website link anyway, inspirationalarts.co.nz.